welcome to another episode of In the Pond, the place where we talk about sex, politics and religion from a American-British point of view. I say another episode, it's first episode ever, but who's counting? My name's Gareth. I'm originally from the UK, but I've lived in America for about the last 15 years. Today I want to talk to you about the US presidential elections. America's a wonderful place. The people can be a little bit peculiar, but I love them. I regard myself as half American these days. I've lived here long enough. I've lived here almost as long in the US as I did in the UK. So, I've had some people from the UK reach out to me. They seem a little bit concerned about what's going on in the US. Dear Gareth, what the hell is going on in America? From a secret admirer. Well, secret admirer, I'm glad you ask. Right now, we know is the presidential elections, or we're in the primary season right now. And I think it's very, very important we understand what is actually going on. Because if you're in the UK and you open your newspaper, oh, bloody hell, this Trump fella seems to be doing rather well. It looks like he's going to be president, is the kind of thing you may think when you're reading the newspaper. However, it's not exactly accurate. Right now we're in primary season. Both parties, Democrats and Republicans, are vying to elect their candidates for president. We don't do this in the UK. We don't actually vote for a prime minister. We vote for our local, regional representatives, and whichever party they happen to belong to, the leader of that party by default becomes prime minister. In the US, it's very, very different. They vote actually on who's going to be president, specifically on the people. And in order to get those people, they have this primary season. Because, you know, one general election is not enough, they got to do all these little ones first. So each state has all these little mini elections. Right now, Trump is doing rather well, undeniable. Let's take Florida, the state I now live, as an example. Florida is known as a swing state right now and can have a huge effect on the US general election, especially with the Electoral College. We'll get to that later because it's kind of nonsense. Let's be clear about something. People keep saying Donald Trump is very, very popular. Well, is he really? Let's look at some numbers. Donald Trump, during the Republican presidential primary, got 1.077 million votes. Beat everybody. He beat Rubio, he beat Cruz, he beat Kasich, he beat everybody. Good job, Donald. Good job. Now, a lot of people are like, oh, bloody hell, he must be really, really popular. In Florida, there is a total of roughly 11.5 million people registered to vote. Basically 4.5 million Republicans, 4.1 million Democrats, which leaves 2.7 million unaffiliated/independent voters. Donald Trump did kick ass. He did win the Republican presidential primary here in Florida with just over 1 million votes, which, I'm hopeless at math, but is less than 10% of the actual number of people voting. Hillary Clinton, she won the Democratic presidential primary here in Florida, and she got roughly 1.1 million votes. So she got more votes than Donald Trump did. 11.5 million registered voters in Florida. So, Donald Trump, he's doing a great job, but he's not actually as popular as perhaps the media makes out. And this is the same in states all across the country. Throw in the fact that each state has these different types of primaries. So, for example, in an open primary, anyone can vote for whoever they want, whether you're registered Democratic, Republican or Independent. In fact, why do you have to register as Democratic, Republican or Independent? You should just have to register to bloody vote. Why have to register as one or the other? You should be able to just register to vote like we do in the UK and then just go bloody vote. I know many of you are concerned about Donald Trump becoming president. He's not really getting all these independent centrist voters that actually decide US elections. Donald Trump doesn't even accept that climate change is bloody real. How can we have a president, the /default leader of the free world, who doesn't believe climate change is real? Who believes that women should be punished if they get an abortion? Come on! Come on, you're having a laugh, aren't you? He's getting this relatively small, as we saw with the numbers in Florida, group of predominantly white, slightly older, seem pretty racist, conservative, you know, religious people, which is great, good for him, you know, it's getting him the party's nominee, but I don't think come November it's gonna make him president. America's changed. This is the thing I think the Trump supporters are really struggling with. They're sort of clinging on to this idealized notion of what America once was. This predominantly white, conservative country that did all this great stuff. And they're like, oh my God, we want to hang on to that. We want to hang on to that. We really want America to be like that again. Well, the unfortunate thing is that ship sailed, darling. It's all gone since then. America is browner. It's going to be more Asian. It's gayer. Hello. It's still a bloody great place to be. For me, I grew up in the UK. I remember America, Saved by the Bell. I wanted to be Zach. I thought America seemed like this bloody brilliant place. They put a man on the moon, for Christ's sake. A man on the bloody moon. Oh, now what are they doing? God, dear me. They're banging on about abortion and religion and transgender bathrooms. And the rest of the world is looking on going like, what are they talking about over there? Why can't they get their shit together? This is 2016. Let's be putting a man on Mars. Thank God for Elon Musk, at least he's bloody trying. Come on, come on. America's better than that. So, to all of those of you around the rest of the world, this is a message of hope to you all. Donald Trump will not be President of the United States. It's not going to happen. I have too much faith in the majority of American people. You know, they're probably slightly conservative leaning, but they're progressive too. That's why Bernie Sanders is doing so well. They're actually more liberal than they've ever used to be. They're not making old white people anymore. They're dying out. All of you in the UK and all of you in Europe and all of you around the rest of the world, do not worry. Well, okay, worry a little bit because he could become president. But if you have friends in America, you must call them and you must tell them, hey, don't be an idiot. Don't vote for Trump. Vote for Hillary if she's the other candidate. Now, I know it's the lesser of two evils and Hillary has her own problems. I really wish Bernie was to get the nomination. Don't think it's going to happen. Really wish he would. But at least he's pushing her to the left. And he's pushing it to some common sense. At least the Democrats deal in common sense. At least they agree things like climate change are real. America really is the land of opportunity. It really is the land of hopes and dreams. We should be putting a man on Mars. Why aren't we doing that? We should have high-speed trains running around everywhere. You know, we should be doing stem cell research, cloning livers and kidneys, making people better. Not running around having wars and stuff while our infrastructure is crumbling over here. People always ask me why I'm so critical of America. You know why I'm critical of America? Because I bloody care about America. I live here. This is my home. And I want America to be as good as it can be. It is a great place and it is a great country. It's not the best in the world because no country is the greatest single country in the world. That's obscene and ridiculous to even suggest. But it has massive positives. It also has a lot of negatives. The other hope is this coming election in November could be the destruction of the Republican Party as we know it. Some people are a little worried about that, but you know what? From the ashes, maybe a more centrist, more common sense, less obstructionist party will evolve that can actually provide effective opposition and we can actually move this great country forward rather than languishing and wallowing in our own self-pity about what came in the past. Let's fucking move on from that and let's keep going. Please subscribe to my channel because if you don't, I don't know what I'm doing with my life as it is, and if I don't get at least 10 subscribers, then I probably won't make any more videos. Or I might. Check out my blog if you like the written word, which if you like the written word, I love you, I love the written word. The video is kind of a new thing for me, but if you like the written word, check out my blog below, garethckelly.com, and you'll find a bunch of random ramblings about all sorts of stuff going on in my life. Again, thanks for tuning in, and I hope to see you all again soon. Ta-ta.